Dandelions, dead. Clover, dead. Plantain, dead. All of it gone in 2 days. And your grass? Untouched. Not yellow. Not burned. Greener than it was before you started. This isn't a hack. This isn't a trick you've never heard works. This is old farm chemistry. The kind Amish and Mennonite farmers used for 100 years before anyone sold you a $40 bottle of weed spray. I'm not going to name it yet. First, I need to show you why it works, because if you just go grab it and start spraying without knowing the ratio, you can hurt your lawn. So stick with me for 2 minutes. Then I'll tell you exactly what it is and where to buy it. This costs about $6 to $8 for a bag. One bag treats your whole yard for the entire season. Compare that to the name brand weed and feed bags at $35 to $45 a pop, the ones you have to buy 4 times a year on some subscription plan. Same result, 1/10 of the price. But get the mix wrong, spray it at the wrong time or water too soon, and you'll waste the whole batch. So let's do this the right way. Here's the thing nobody tells you. Killing a weed is easy. Boiling water kills a weed. Straight vinegar kills a weed. A shovel kills a weed. None of that is hard. The hard part is killing the weed without killing the grass sitting 3 inches away from it. That's the entire weed control industry in one sentence. Selective killing. Kill the bad plant, spare the good one. Most store options solve this badly. Spot sprays mean you're on your knees for 2 hours hitting one dandelion at a time. Synthetic broadleaf killers, the 2.4D based sprays, work across the whole yard, but they run $25 to $40 a bottle, they smell awful, and a lot of people don't want that much synthetic chemical soaking into the yard their kids and dogs roll around on. There's a third way. Farmers had it figured out before any of these companies existed. It's iron sulfate, also called ferrous sulfate, also called lawn iron or moss killer on the shelf at your garden center or hardware store. Same mineral, 3 different labels depending on which brand bagged it. You'll find it in the lawn and garden aisle, usually near the fertilizer, sometimes near the moss control products. It looks like a bag of rusty orange sand. Cheap, plain, boring-looking bag. Don't let that fool you. Here's why this one product does 2 opposite jobs at once. Weeds like dandelions, clover, and plantain have wide, flat leaves. Big surface area. When you spray them with an iron sulfate solution, those broad leaves soak up a heavy dose of iron fast, way more than the plant can handle. That overload breaks down the cells inside the leaf. Within a day or 2, the weed turns dark, almost black, and dies. Grass is built completely differently. It's a narrow-bladed plant, and it only takes in a small, safe amount of iron through those thin blades. And here's the part that matters. Grass actually needs iron. It's a building block for chlorophyll, the stuff that makes grass green. So while the iron is poisoning the weed, the same iron is feeding your lawn. 2 effects, 1 spray at the same time. That's not a trick. That's just how these 2 types of plants are built. Broadleaf plants and grass process iron in completely different ways, and this method uses that difference on purpose. So why isn't this printed on every lawn care ad? Simple. There's no money in a $7 bag you only buy once or twice a year. The real money in lawn care is in the 4-step yearly programs, the subscription boxes, the branded sprayer refills you have to keep buying. A bag of iron sulfate doesn't need a marketing budget. It just sits quietly in the fertilizer aisle, doing the job old-time farmers already knew it could do, while the industry sells you the complicated version. If you're tired of throwing money at weed killer every spring, hit subscribe right now. I mean it. This channel doesn't run ads for lawn products, no affiliate links, nothing. Just what actually works. And drop a comment. What's taking over your yard right now? Dandelions, clover, creeping Charlie? Tell me, I want to know what we're dealing with. Here's the mix. 1 cup of iron sulfate powder to 1 gallon of water. Say it with me, 1 cup, 1 gallon. Stir it until it's fully dissolved and the water turns a deep amber brown. No clumps sitting on the bottom. 1 gallon of that mix covers about 250 square feet. A regular front yard usually takes 3 to 4 gallons total. Bigger yard, just scale it up the same way. Use a pump sprayer. The plastic hand pump kind, about $12 to $15 at any hardware store. Don't use a hose end sprayer. Those dilute the mix unevenly, and you lose control over the strength. Set your sprayer to a fine mist, not a stream. You want it landing softly on the leaves, not running straight off onto the soil. Spray early morning or early evening, never in the middle of a hot, sunny afternoon. The plant needs time to actually absorb the mix before it dries up or evaporates. Morning dew even helps it stick to the leaves a little longer. Do not water the lawn for 24 hours after spraying. No sprinklers, no hose, and check the forecast for rain. If you wash it off early, the weed survives and you wasted the batch. Here's what to expect. Within 24 hours, weed leaves start curling and darkening at the edges. By 48 hours, most of them are black, wilted, dead, or close to it. Your grass, meanwhile, looks a shade darker green than the day before. That's the iron feeding it, not damaging it. One spray handles most of what's growing right now. If it's a bad infestation, you can do a second round 2 weeks later. But don't go past 3 applications in one season. Iron builds up in soil over time and can slowly lower your soil's pH, which brings its own set of problems. Now, I'd rather tell you straight than have you come back annoyed in 2 weeks. Iron sulfate works great on broadleaf weeds, dandelion, clover, plantain, chickweed, ground ivy, creeping Charlie. Wide, flat leaves, big surface area, it hits them hard. It does not reliably kill grassy weeds, crabgrass, quackgrass, goosegrass. Those are built too much like your actual lawn grass, so the iron can't tell the difference. If crabgrass is your main problem, this isn't your fix. You'll need a pre-emergent product instead, which is a different topic for a different video. One bonus most people don't expect, it also kills moss. If you've got a shady, damp patch where moss keeps creeping in, one spray turns it black within a few hours. Free extra win. 3 things to watch out for. 1. Staining. Iron sulfate will stain concrete, pavers, siding, and clothes a rusty orange color that's brutal to remove once it sets. It's the iron reacting with the surface. Keep your spray pattern tight to the grass, and if any drifts onto concrete, hose it off within seconds, not minutes. 2. Pets and kids. Keep them off the lawn until the spray dries fully, usually 2 to 3 hours. Once it's dry, it's not a concern, but wet solution on paws or bare feet can cause some staining and mild irritation. 3. Soil pH. If your soil is already acidic, more iron can push it too low for healthy grass. Grab a $5 soil pH test kit before your first application. If your reading is above 6, you're clear to spray up to 3 times a season. Below that, hold off until you've corrected the pH first. I'll tell you what happened at my own place. Last spring, my backyard was close to 40% clover, not scattered patches, thick, solid mats of it choking out the grass. I'd been pulling it by hand for 2 summers straight, and it kept coming back every single time. Before I found this, I tried 3 things. Straight vinegar spray, about $18 spent, which killed the clover but also left ugly brown dead patches of grass right along with it. A name-brand broadleaf herbicide, around $32, which worked but needed 3 separate treatments to actually finish the job. And a hand-weeding tool with knee pads, another $35, because I figured manual pulling was the only safe option. Almost $85 spent over 2 years, and the clover was still winning. Then I mixed 1 cup of iron sulfate per gallon and sprayed the whole backyard on a Saturday morning. Took about 15 minutes total. By Monday, the clover had gone dark and crispy at the edges. By Wednesday, it was fully dead, brown, brittle, gone. My neighbor actually asked me what fertilizer I was using because the grass between the dead clover patches looked noticeably darker and thicker than his. I hadn't fertilized at all. That was just the iron doing double duty. Total cost for that 1 application, about $2.50 out of a $7 bag. $2.50 fixed something I'd spent close to $85 fighting for 2 years. One thing to keep in mind, this kills what's already growing. It doesn't stop new weed seeds from showing up next spring, especially if your neighbor's yard is full of dandelions blowing seed into yours. Killing what's there is step 1. Building a lawn so thick that new seeds can't even find bare soil to land on. That's step 2, and that's exactly what we're building toward on this channel. We already covered testing your soil pH 2 weeks ago. Today was the weed kill. Next video is the mowing height trick that thickens your grass so much, weeds stop having anywhere left to grow. Put those three together, and you've got a full lawn care system running under $20 a year. Better results than most $300 professional programs. Subscribe. Turn on notifications so you catch the mowing video next week, and drop a comment telling me your worst weed problem right now. Post a picture if you've got one. I read every comment, and I'll tell you straight whether iron sulfate will handle it or if you need a different fix. See you next week.